Courtney is finished.
I'm finished.
With her tattoo.
It's big too, y'all.
And we got a real one in the building. That's out to my man Reason. Y'all clap it up one time.
What's the deal? What's the deal?
The new project about to drop in a big way. It's going down. It's called, is it Faded of Poor and Riches?
No, so the album is called Porches. That's the number one. That's the first track on the.
Got you.
Yeah, on the album. Yeah, but the album is called Porches. Drops on Friday. My sophomore album. I'm excited about it.
So tell me how you came up with the concept for Porches.
Porches was about. It's really an album about love and understanding. My whole concept with it was, we all go through the same things, whether we from different neighborhoods, similar class. Similar environment, whatever that is, we're going to go through similar struggles, triumphs, W's, L's. And so it was really an album that I wanted to make to get people to understand that we all go through similar things, so we should love each other and understand each other better through that process instead of point the finger. A lot of times when things happen nowadays, we just look on social media and down each other instead of trying to uplift each other and understand that we all going through. Can I cuss?
Yeah, you
okay.
say whatever.
Yeah, we all going through shit.
Say.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, we all going through shit. And it was really at a point in my life when I needed love and understanding, so I figured I might as well get that to the world.
So that's dope, man. I mean, like, you come from an age, and even it seems like the team that you run with is real aware of self.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's expressed through your music, which hasn't always been in hip hop.
Yeah.
So to be able to even just what you said, like, do you find that, especially in this environment, a lot of it, I feel like people are in touch with their emotions, but sometimes it's more toxic energy than it is for someone like realizing like, yo, we actually trying to be better human beings out here.
Exactly.
And to put that, even coming out here from the West Coast type, it's a different energy. So how do you feel like in that environment that, like, do you fit into what's going on in hip hop?
It's weird because it's just what you said. Like, a lot of what gets attention is the negativity, is the bad shit, the viral moments, whatever the case may be, and then you turn around and you have the positive things and they never get the same light. For me, I started doing music because it was therapeutical to me. It was something that allowed me to get my emotions off my chest because I wasn't good at talking about shit, you know what I mean? And that was my way of being able to get it off. And I just try to focus on that, focus on how music makes me feel, how it makes me feel better. And then fans that listen to these records and say, I was going through that and I felt like nobody else understood what I was going through, you know what I mean? So that record made me feel seen, it made me feel heard. I just try to focus on that.
So who are some of your influences?
Cole is one of my favorite rappers.
That's right. That's right.
Cole is one of my favorite rappers. Wayne is like
That's right.
my favorite rapper of all time.
Yeah, Nick.
Wayne is your favorite rapper of all time.
He said what he said.
He be trying to play Wayne. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I love Wayne. When y'all you saying he's the greatest ever.
My two goats is Wayne and Hov. I always say that. Those are my two goats.
You got one of them, right?
But yeah, Cole is a big influence to me. Of course, Dot. Grew up listening to a lot of Fabulous. I grew up like listening to like the niggas that was like rapping. You know what I mean?
Right. Facts.
Not a knock to what's going on. You know, music has evolved, but those have always been like my influences.
Nah, that's dope. And then so again, like to come from out here. I mean, you grew up in Carson, right?
Yeah.
So like we have a different bop, a different sway with how we move that seems to be missing in current hip hop. I mean, we see a lot of debates where they saying like, you know, the West Coast fell off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which is crazy.
We ain't had a star since Dot.
Yeah.
You know, globally. You know what I mean? We tap into our region, you know what I mean? And, you know, and we make noise. And sometimes we don't even care if anybody else likes what we like because we move how we move.
Yeah.
But how do you feel? Do you agree with that, you know, the West Coast kind of has lost their influence when you think about, because, you know, Atlanta, the South, even now Memphis, like they got it in a chokehold for a long time. Right. And other than K-Dot, you know, there's nobody else that has affected culture globally like that, but we used to have it. We used to have Snoop. We used to have Quick. We used to have Cube. We used to, then, since then, we ain't really, since, Kendrick, we ain't really had somebody put on for the West Coast like that.
Yeah, that part is true. I've seen, like, the list and whatnot, like Complex, they had us ranked, like, 4th or something like that. I didn't necessarily agree with that just because I feel like we got Doja and Tyler. I feel like that's 3 juggernauts. You know what I mean? So,
but even with Doja and Tyler, they like, as much as they are hip hop, they not.
Tyler's hip hop. I'm not letting that slide at all, bro. Tyler is full-blown hip hop.
For what
Doja, I understand. I understand that.
Tyler, his music is alternative.
I love Tyler.
It is alternative, but it is full blown, and that's what I was about to say. I feel like the struggle with the West is that, in my opinion, I've talked about this with the homies, I feel like we put ourselves in a box. It's like if it doesn't sound like West Coast music, we discount it like it's not an artist from LA. Like the only reason Tyler isn't considered an artist that is like hip hop or West Coast is because he is different. You know what I mean?
He's alternative.
He's alternative.
Yeah, he's expanded beyond hip hop.
And for me, it's like, what other region do they do that in? And that's the thing that I feel like the West kind of like struggles with. You get what I'm saying? It's like if like you never hear nobody say Andre 3000 is not from the South.
That's real.
He don't sound nothing like, the niggas that's from the South, but you never hear them say that. You never hear them say that about other artists that are in these other regions. It's only the West. It's like if we not making music that's like, over a Dre beat or over G-Funk or whatever the case may be, it's not considered West Coast. When to me, it's like, I'm from the West Coast and I make music. I make West Coast music.
Right. And to your point, I think the sound, the original sound is kind of, it's a staple.
Yeah.
But I think this generation has grown beyond it.
Exactly.
So sometimes, to your point, like Tyler's not going to sound like a West Coast artist.
Yeah.
Because his music just doesn't sound like your typical West Coast sound. So maybe the correction is, the stereotypical West Coast sound doesn't have the prominence that it used to have. Because there are people who have had huge successes, like you said, that just they don't necessarily, follow the blueprint of a West Coast artist.
This generation just don't like music that you can understand. It's run-on sentences. That's what they like.
Or like editing it, comma here.
Honestly, I feel like we just in a place, man, where like people don't even really know what they like. Like they allow the internet to tell them, like if I actually like this artist as a person, then I can maybe get into their music. Or if this artist does something that makes them go viral, then I can get into their music. And it's less about the music, and that's why I think that we've seen like a lack of consistency of quality. Like this has been, like I think they were saying like it's the 50th year of hip hop, and for the first 6-7 months we didn't have a record that placed at the top of the chart. That was a hip hop record. It's because all we're looking for is virality instead of artists used to spend all their time in the studio. Now they spend all their time making content.
That's
It's less about the music and it's more about the content. And that even goes on the platforms that support certain things. We only talk about, for the most part, content. We don't spend as much time talking about music and talking about what an artist was trying to convey in their record or what an artist was trying to convey in their project. We don't spend as much time. We just spend time talking about the viral moments. You know what I mean? And so I think that's kind of
the pop culture, the social conversation.
Exactly.
Opposed to like a true artist. So how do you deal with that? How do you deal with having a new project on the forefront and knowing that you're in competition with TikTok stars? You're in competition with whatever, everybody want to talk about the Alabama brawl. You know what I mean? Like, which is fine. But it's a little different in that sense that you're not. You know what I mean? Like the music isn't the topic of the conversation.
It's a rough thing as an artist, especially an up-and-coming artist, to deal with. I always tell people like this is the hardest time as an up-and-coming artist to make it, because you're not only competing with other artists, you're competing with everything. You know what I'm saying? You're competing with, if knock on wood, if somebody dies on the same weekend that you drop an album, or if something happens and like you said a brawl breaks out or whatever, you're competing with all of these things. For me, like I said, I just always try to my rule in life is just control what you can control. So I try to focus on why I made the music. You know what I mean? I made the music for this reason. This is what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to focus on the people that want to hear it, the people that want to receive it. put all my energy into that. You know what I mean? And whatever comes from that is what comes from that.
There it is. Well, let's get into some music real quick. Do we got one of Reason's tracks up?
Yeah, I think we got the latest single. It's called You Better. It's my up-and-coming album, Porches, on Friday. This is the second single off of that. And, yeah, it's a fun record.
There it is. Let's do it.
Shout out to the homegirls that helped me actually write that record.
Did you get your friends to do it? Like,
yeah, them the homegirls.
Really?
Like, they not artists and nothing. Like, we was just in the studio. I was like, yo, like, what do y'all say to each other when y'all getting dressed?
go
Like, what do y'all say? You know what I mean? Like, what?
Yes.
And we just went through, like, you know, the verse and the liquor that they want to drink. I literally was at, like, what, you know what I mean? Like, what you want to drink? What are we, you know what I'm saying? And we just walked through it. Yeah.
Go, bitch. But it's also called Jesus Take the Wheel.
Jesus Take the
we
Wheel.
We have to put that on Worship Wednesday.
Yeah, man. I'm going for a gospel Grammy.
I know that's right.
Nah,
Yeah,
that's
man.
so dope, man. Like your vibe, like everybody's like, yo, this is definitely our type of vibe. Me and Courtney just got matching tattoos that say Jesus is my
We
homeboy.
lifers. We besties for real.
That's
man.
really funny, bro. Like,
We did. I mean, when did we have that debate? Like a month ago?
Yep, had to be.
I
And-
have no concept of time anymore. Was that only a month?
Maybe a month and a
Jeez.
half.
Freeze was like, yeah, a month and a half ago. And then Freeze made it happen. He got our guy Blue, the tattoo artist, in here.
Yep.
And are you tatted?
I only got one tattoo because I grew up with a black mama that was like, nah, it's not rocking. But
Hey, and I
yeah,
did
I
My
got
mama didn't
one.
let me get no tattoo.
Yeah,
then.
I got a big Kobe piece. Once Kobe passed, that was the only thing that I ended up getting. So I got a big Kobe piece on my leg. But yeah, mom's was I don't got no piercings, no tattoo. My mom's was not
Oh,
rocking.
I know.
She wasn't rocking
That's
for
how
none
they
of that.
be.
Yeah,
In a
none of
church
that.
home or
Not a church home, but
Just
it
strict
might
mama
as well.
home.
Yeah, just a strict black mama that's not playing none of that shit. Yeah, for real.
Nah, that's what's.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't know your origin, man. Like,
Yeah.
like obviously coming from the West Coast, coming from Carson. How did you get on? How did
Yeah.
TDE find you? How did it all happen for you?
Yeah, for me, I started actually doing music late. I was playing basketball, so my plan was to go overseas and play professionally. And I got a contract to Greece, and in that
so
time
you hoop,
frame,
hoop.
I was like playing like for real. I be
Yeah.
telling niggas like we can do them celebrity games, and I'm gonna be out there really like trying to play for real.
Y'all need to get.
I'm a
That's
little
how
older
Hitman
now, though.
Holla is too.
Yeah, nah, Hitman Holla. I actually want to play against him because I hear he got game, and
He's
I've
a
seen somebody.
hooper
Yeah, I've
who
heard that
can
he's
rap.
really like
D1, like,
exactly,
you know what I
exactly.
mean?
So I
Like-
come from that, you know what I mean. And so, like I said, I was doing music because I went to school in Iowa, and I grew up in LA. I grew up in an all-black environment, but when I went out there, it was like a culture shock. And so I went through a lot of things personally, trying to figure out who I was and how I fit into this new space. And I started rapping just to get things off my chest, and I just fell in love with it.
Oh wow.
And so when it was time to make the decision, do I go to Greece or, you know, I just was like, yo, I want to rap. And that's the last time that my agent talked to me after that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the last time he had a convo with me. And I just started moving around the city, doing my own thing, putting my money up. I went to school, so I understood that music was a business and that you got to pay to play and put your money where your mouth is. So I did all those things. If I wanted to open up for an artist, I would pay the artist for a headlining show and then book myself as the opener. If I wanted to, you know what I mean? I was just doing
Smart.
whatever it took, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I even went so far as to, like, you know, pay an artist to be the opening, the headline, and then give the show away to somebody else to host it as if I just got booked for the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, to make it a look or
Smart.
whatever. And just kind of build my buzz up and whatnot. And one of the guys from the label, Keem, he ended up finding me, bought 20 tickets to my first headliner show in LA, brought some niggas from TDE, and then the rest kind of just worked itself out.
That's great. 'Cause, I mean, that first of all, brilliant.
Yeah,
You
thank
know
you.
what I mean?
Thank you, bro.
But it's so hard on the West Coast to get yourself heard, to be known, because it's cloudy. You know what I mean? It's a lot of it's a lot of gang culture.
I'm about
It's
to
a
say,
lot of-
especially in my lane, because
Yeah.
everything that gets the attention on the West is either gang culture music or turn up music. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, that's what gets the majority of, like, what people are going to pay attention to and talk about.
So other than, you know, your business, your brilliant business acumen, what do you think made people connect with you? Because you're not one of those dudes.
Yeah.
You don't have your typical West Coast.
Yeah. Honestly, in the most humble way, bro, I was just nice. Like, honestly, being completely, I was vulnerable, I was honest, and I was a really good rapper. And I feel like my rule was always, in any situation, I just need people to hear me. So even when I would go to like South by Southwest and I would perform, I remember performing at South by Southwest, there was literally nobody in the crowd, legitimately. And I started rapping, and by the end of my first song, there was like 80 people in front of the stage. My rule was just always just rap and let people hear me, you know what I mean? And so I've gonna always like work like that. Like I just need the ears. I don't need the, the gimmicky things. I just need the ears and people to really pay attention.
So what's the goal?
The goal for me was just always to be the biggest artist I could be, but in my lane. Like I grew up looking at Jadakiss and Fab, and I just wanted to be respected as one of the like best rappers of my generation. And of course, niggas want big records because we want money. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, for me, it was really just about the respect and giving people like real music that they can live with. I want my projects and my catalog to live on in a good way. You know what I mean? I don't want to be an artist where they just remember the single. I want them to remember me for my full-blown catalog where they can name album after album and go and look at it in its quality, And so that's really what I'm focused on. I feel like I'm an album artist.
And it's your second project.
Second project, Porches, on Friday.
Now it feels like, and I mean you can expand on this if you like, but it feels like you operate as an independent artist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but you also got one of the biggest labels, in the game, with TDE.
Yeah.
How do you manage that, and how that perception? Because I'm pretty sure that even the way you have to move, and it seems like a lot of this is, self-proficient and, self-motivating. But again, there's that gargantuan of a title that's, one you got to live up to, that's Kendrick.
Yeah, these exactly. Automatically off the bat.
All of these people, but then again, you move how you move.
Yeah. For me, it was that was a tough balance because it was like, you want to move how you move and do the things that you feel like you should be doing to progress your career, but at the same time, you also don't want to move in counter or against what the label, wants. And so it was just a lot of growing pains, a lot of conversations, a lot of, back and forth and arguments and debates. But, ultimately, I feel like if the ultimate goal is to keep progressing, it should be something that's just as simple as a conversation. But it is something that's tough because it's like I'm not with like an Atlantic where they just say here and give you the budget and then you do what you want with the budget. You know what I mean? I'm with a label that has its own identity, its own brand, and you have to try to make your identity and brand fit within that, you know what I mean, and still be able to do things and move the way that you feel like you need to move without, stepping on toes and whatnot.
Yeah, and it's just like the struggle of like the DSPs, and, you know what I mean, like the things where the bigger labels, or the majors as they call them, they kind of get to the front of the line, and then when you got to hustle as even like TDE is major as well, but like it's a difference, like you said, when you're not with like a.
Well, TDE is major in the scale, but they are an independent label. You know what I mean? They're an independent label, and so you have some artists that sign with majors within TDE, for distribution or whatnot.
Like SZA's situation.
Exactly. Yeah. But if you're not, then you just got to find a way to fit into that mode and be able to do that. And it is tough because you don't get that major budget or major, the looks that come with the major. That's why people, you know what I mean? So,
I explain that to my artists all the time as, having incredible. There's some people, they look at other people like, but they're incredible Republic.
Yeah, exactly. It's a whole different.
You're just incredible. That's just my money. There's a difference, you know what I mean? So, but I mean, but there's also benefits because when you win, and there's no major attached to it.
And you have all the leverage when you do walk into, or you can not even walk into that situation.
The
and
bread
just
is all yours,
exactly.
and you get to make those decisions. So it seems like that's the movement that you're on, and I salute that in a big way.
Yeah.
Ladies, do you guys have any questions for Reese?
I think this was a great conversation.
Hey, you over there in pain with that tattoo.
No, I just love.
Bleed. I'm like,
I just love that you're doing it for the city. I think that's amazing, and just really putting on and creating your own sound and in your own lane. Especially with, like Nick said, being with such a big label like TDE, you are creating your own thing and your own vibe.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That was always like the challenge with getting with TDE. It's just like the the shadows that you walk in, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And everybody automatically, especially when I came in, it was like a lot of the bigger artists hadn't dropped at that point. So it was like I was always fighting for that notoriety. Like, oh, okay, this recent dude's cool, but where is Kendrick?
Yeah.
Where is, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and you just got to kind of block out the noise and just, you know, fuck with who fuck with you, and, you know, who don't, you know, you will get them on the bounce back.
Wise words.
We had this conversation about hip hop and Chrissy B.
Yeah. That's my dog.
Yeah,
Shout
she
out
was
to
the one
Chrissy.
that was like, you guys need to fuck with Reasons music. Like, I remember we were all sitting having this like really big debate about LA hip hop artists and rappers, and you were definitely the main topic where she was like, y'all need to listen to Reasons music. So I'm extending that to everyone else, especially in the chat.
I appreciate it.
Friday, it goes up.
Yeah.
Porches.
Friday, man. Porches coming out. My second joint. I'm super excited about this one. I put a lot of time and effort into this one.
You're doing it for a reason, man, and I salute you and wish you nothing but much continued success, man. This project sounds like it's gonna be one of them ones.
That's love. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.